Well, today we're really pleased and excited to announce that Simon Lethlean is our new General Manager of Football at the St Kilda Footy Club. It's been a very thorough process that we've gone through since Amit Baines resigned and headed off to the Bulldogs. We took the opportunity to consider what's the right structure and approach to our football program, not just for now, but for the future. We're a footy club that right now has got 45 elite athletes, but in 3 years' time, we'll have probably 80 elite athletes with AFLW coming on board, with VFL programs, VFLW, and a whole range of next generation academies as well. And so the opportunity for us was to consider what the structure looks like and then who can be the best person to lead that process. So I engaged Ernst & Young, Craig Mitchell, who you might know worked with Brendan Gale last year at Richmond Footy Club, and Craig and I set about reviewing our structure and then a process to speak to people who we thought could do that role, and we approached a number of people, had conversations with several candidates. But I'm really pleased to say that right throughout that process, Simon Lethlean demonstrated himself to be the outstanding candidate with a unique set of skills and experiences, which we're really excited to bring into our footy club, which we're convinced is going to make us a lot closer to achieving our goals on and off the field.
Do you acknowledge it is a controversial move, seeing as though how he exited the AFL?
Yeah, we understand that there'll be people who are interested in why around this appointment, but we're also really confident that Simon got this job because he's the best man for it. There's no doubt that we wouldn't have been having this conversation if it wasn't for Simon resigning from the AFL 6 months ago in circumstances which he wouldn't have liked. But ultimately, what's convinced us is he's taken full accountability for that. Simon's taken responsibility. He spent the last 5 months rebuilding trust with those who are most important to him, and they don't work in footy. And he's convinced us that that attitude around accountability, in putting his hand up, and his commitment to making his next job a success and come back in the industry, that's the right person that we're prepared to bring into our footy club.
Are you prepared for some backlash potentially from fans who aren't happy with that appointment?
Yeah, we understand that people will have different views, but I'm really confident that Saints people will understand that we've made a decision which we believe is in the best interest of our footy club. Since Alan Richardson, Peter Summers and I came on board nearly 4 years ago, we've been very deliberate about the path we've taken on and off the field, and we believe that this decision takes us closer to where Saints fans want us to get to, and that's delivering a second premiership for our footy club. People make mistakes, and people need to be accountable for their mistakes. But ultimately, we're really confident that Simon has demonstrated through his attitude, through the experiences that he's had, that he recognises the mistakes that he's made. He's put his hand up, and we're willing to give him a second chance. And we're really confident that the attitude he'll bring into our footy club will make our club stronger going forward.
Did you have to consider the look of it, I guess, for a club that has had its cultural issues in the past that you would like to think you've moved away from?
Clearly, Simon convinced us that he's the man for this job. But we don't make decisions in a vacuum. And as an organisation which is very conscious of the gains that we've made, we don't make decisions lightly. But ultimately, we believe that as a club, we've built equity in terms of what we stand for, and that allows us to bring people into our club who might have made mistakes in the past, but are prepared to take accountability for that, and then prepared to roll their sleeves up, get to work, and demonstrate through their performance, through their relationships, through their commitment to the task, that they belong here at St Kilda.
Were you surprised that other clubs overlooked Simon Lethlean?
Look, I can't speak for other clubs in terms of the roles that they might have been looking to fill and the basis for decisions that they've taken. What I can speak for is a very deliberate role that we have developed here at St Kilda that we think Simon is the perfect fit for. When Amit Baines left to go to the Bulldogs, we lost a terrific operator. And the opportunities that lie ahead of our footy club mean that we want to bring someone in who's really experienced, understand the AFL landscape, can navigate their way through that, can harness resources and mobilise people in the right direction to achieve winning outcomes for us on and off the field. And that's what has convinced us that Simon's the right person.
When does he start, and what does it mean for the structure of the rest of the footy department, I guess how it works for Jamie Cox and that type of thing?
So Simon will start in the new year when our players return from their Christmas break, and he can't wait to roll his sleeves up and start to be judged for his performance. what this process has allowed us to do is to grow our football program, and Jamie Cox will assume a new role which reflects the growth that we're having as we build an AFLW program, VFLW, our academies, our partnerships with VFL, both at Sandringham, now with Frankston, as we grow our football footprint right throughout Bayside. There's so much opportunity in our footy club right now, and I'm so pleased that great people like Alan Richardson, Jamie Cox, Matt Hornsby, Danny Sexton, and now Simon Lethlean are terrific leaders that are going to take our footy club forward.
So what's Jamie's role? Is that suggesting he's moved away from the AFL program with this?
No, Jamie will continue to play an integral part of our football program, working across men's, women's, our talent pathways, and recognising that we've got partnerships right throughout the football network that help us to be better. They grow our talent, they grow our program, and they allow us to mobilise resources to not just grow St Kilda, but also to grow football in this region.
Has he committed to staying at the club after what's effectively a demotion?
Yeah, look, one of the great things about Coxie, but all of our people, is that they're really selfless about what it is that we're here to do. We've all got a role to play, and what this has allowed us to do is to mobilise people's skills in areas that are going to allow us to be better. When Amit left, that created a significant gap for us. In bringing Simon in, we think that we bring someone who can create the space for others to grow and to continue to be great contributors across our club, but also to take us further as well.
On a different topic, we had a look at Hawthorn's AGM last night, and Jeff got up there and said that they expect to win a flag every 4.6 years. As the Saints fans, how do you think they feel if they've only won one flag and they hear that from another club?
I think what Saints fans want to know is that we are doing everything in our power to deliver the second premiership for St Kilda. And we just think there's an opportunity right on the cusp to return to Moorabbin and deliver that Premiership Cup to the same place that we held our Premiership Cup within a year of moving there back in 1966. That's what we're firmly focused on. That's what Saints fans want to deliver. And I reckon today's announcement takes us another step towards that.
Win a flag in the next 4.6 years?
I'd like it to be closer than 4.6 years, but ultimately we want to be a contender from day one next year.
The Etihad deal, is that getting closer to being finalised?
We've been working all year with the AFL and the other tenant clubs on improving the economics of Etihad Stadium. We're getting very close to nailing that down, and what I'm really confident is that whilst the Etihad's been a great place to play footy, it's a great place to watch footy, it hasn't been a great place to do business, to be frank, for our footy club. And we think we're on the cusp of penning a deal at Etihad Stadium which will now underpin our financial sustainability into the future.
Should we expect that before the start of next season?
We'd be incredibly disappointed if we hadn't resolved that before the first ball is bounced when we play Brisbane in round one, and then the Kangas on Good Friday. As I've said, it's a great stadium. People love watching footy there, but it's been a bit of a financial hamstring for our footy club, and we're really confident that we're going to overcome that, and that will now allow us to invest in our football program to levels that we haven't been able to do before, and that ought to accelerate our on-field success.
Just to touch on something you mentioned before, from a CEO perspective, what is your expectation for the team next year? Is it to be a genuine flag contender from as soon as next year, or is it a bit more modest than that?
I think what we've seen over the last couple of years is that if you're playing the right kind of footy at the right time of the year, then who knows what can happen. We beat the Bulldogs in 2016 on the way to their flag. We knocked over the Tigers this year on the way to their flag. But the reality is we haven't been playing good enough footy on a consistent basis. We've got to be better at that. But we believe that we can be a contender. And every single one of our players out there training today has that belief. And who am I to stifle that? So that's our mantra. We want to be a contender. We want to put ourselves in a position to contend, and we're really confident we can do that.
Matt, did you like Steve Hawkins' changes to the MRP?
I think that what the MRP changes have done is provide perhaps more efficiency in decision making. We all get frustrated that we're sitting around debating what a match review panel outcome might be from Friday night to Monday, and I think that's a terrific outcome. I think it also poses an opportunity for transparency, which I think everyone likes as well in terms of the confidence in any judicial system. So no, I congratulate Steve Hocking for coming in and making those decisions straight away, and we look forward to working with Steve, with Michael Christian, who's got terrific football experience, and hats off to the AFL for making those changes.
Thanks, Matt.